guys. Wish you a very good evening, all of you. Am I audible to you clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I request all of you to switch on your cameras, please, so that we have this feel of face-to-face session. Even the participants and then our top scorers, everyone. If you could please switch on your cameras. Arpita. Then we have Ekta, Vinita, Jay, Revti, Bhageshwari, Suchita, Arjit, Aditya, Pallavi. If you could switch on your cameras, I kindly request you to do that. Okay. Welcome all of you to this wonderful session and many congratulations to our top scorers. So we are really glad to have you here, guys, and many of the students who have joined today are really looking forward to your tips and suggestions because they are going to be valuable for them to prepare for this test. All right. So let me tell you one important point about these top scorers. What is common in these top scorers is like I have observed that they were very regular on their sessions, regularly attending IELTS classes, whether it is weekend batch or morning or evening batch, they were quite regular in the class. So I think that is the first condition to set up a foundation for your test preparation. Our training sessions are highly focused on strategy building, and I think that is something which is very important for all of the candidates because English is like it's just the language. Many of you are from English medium or other from convent schools, so English is not the problem. But what is important? If I'm not wrong, many of these test takers regularly present during their sessions. So for all the prospective students who are planning to take this exam in upcoming months, I do suggest you to be regular on your classes definitely the other insights that these guys are going to share with us are going to be very helpful for you. Okay. So without further ado, we will start with the session. Gaurav, my first question is oriented to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Many congratulations, Gaurav.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So apart from the regular sessions, Gaurav, would you let us know what all preparation did you do in general for the test?
So even before our classes started, I always listened to a podcast and I loved reading. So during our session, like my preparation was like divided into two parts. So during our sessions and after our session. So during our sessions, I used to read, learn how to scheme read because it wasn't something I knew before. And after that, I kind of got a hold on how to scheme read and different accents. Definitely the links shared by Panjwani sir on Google Classroom helped me to understand different accents. I was just familiar to few of them, and yeah, that's how I went with my preparation.
Yeah, no, you're audible. Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I went with my preparation.
Okay. All right. So, Gaurav, self-preparation apart from classes is something which is also very important, I would say here, right? 8 and writing 7. So we would start with the writing section because according to statistics, say scores on writing and speaking section are relatively low than scores on listening and reading section. So how did you prepare on writing section, especially on idea building and usage of language effectively? In terms of that, how did you prepare on this writing section? Because 7 is really above average score for writing section, I would say.
Thank you, ma'am. The lectures you took for writing session, the 2 lectures you took definitely helped. So from those lectures, I kind of filled in those weakness. I had some weak points, and what I did for coherency is I noted down the words which I would like to use. For example, in let's say first paragraph of the main body, I'd use firstly, secondly, thirdly, and then in the second paragraph, apart from, however. So I had these words in my mind so that I do not have to think of these words at the time of examination when I'm under pressure. Apart from that, I stuck with the basics. We already know how to write essays and how not to
Mhm.
make grammatical mistakes and coherency mistakes. So sometimes what happens is, like with lectures and the official guide to IELTS, the book we have, it gets a little complicated. So I tried to just stick with the basics of whatever I knew. My mindset while writing was just focusing on minimizing the grammatical mistakes and developing the idea. The second one is much more important. We often focus on listing many ideas, but I rather focused on just listing a few ideas and developing them much more comprehensively. So yeah, that's what I focused on. I guess these two
Okay.
things helped me a lot: grammatical mistakes and developing few ideas, but in a way it is more comprehensive, and that helped me with the most the biggest problem I had as well, which is sufficing the minimum word limit. So yeah, that was my approach.
Okay, I hope this helps students. Thank you, Gaurav. And now my next question is oriented to Yash. Yash, are you there in the meeting?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Yash, I guess band score 8 is really result of diligent efforts. I still remember our discussion before you took the test, and I found that you are very regular and doing these things and working and preparing very sincerely. So I would like to know, apart from classes, how many days or rather week you strictly dedicated to IELTS preparation?
Ma'am, initially a bit of irregularity was my mistake, but as soon as I got hold of it, I dedicated 2 months for IELTS. As Hiren sir said that you have to be consistent if you need results. That's what
Hmm?
paid off. His lectures were very detailed, and the tips that was shared to us really helped us. So practicing is one of the things I'll definitely recommend to everyone, that you practice not only in class but at home also. The small 2-3 home assignments that Hiren sir gave was something that is needed to be done, because that's where we can also learn at home, because not all the tips that are shared in classroom are going to be remembered. So once you get used to using them in your day-to-day life, that's where it will show results on your test. I
Right.
definitely feel that.
So revision after you attend classes is very important, I would say, like, point to be noted, right, Yash?
Absolutely.
Okay. How many mock tests did you take before the final test?
I took 2 mock tests before my final test.
Okay. And mock test you would strongly recommend, because I have observed students, take the test like that only without giving importance to mock test. But I think sitting for 3 hours help you to remain focused throughout the test. So I do feel that mock test is very important. What say, Yash?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, I'll recommend mock test. At least 3 that I would recommend for the students, because the feedback that we get from sir and Aditi ma'am as well, it helps us to evaluate on our mistakes, which we would not make during the final test. Because if we go unprepared without the mock test, that I would say would be a big risk. So it's
Okay.
better to be prepared with the mock test.
Okay. And Yash, writing it's listening 8.5. Many students really desire for this score. So 8.5, would you share some tips on listening section as to how did you prepare, and especially those MCQs, that is multiple choice questions?
First of all, listening requires attention. That's what I'll say. Following up the script or the audio, that's very important. Most of the time, we are so busy in searching for a word, we skip the main answer, and that's where I believe the mistakes happen. But following, first of all, reading the questions, the tips that were shared by Hiren sir, the step-by-step guide, to fill in the blanks, the MCQ, the answer is right there in front of us, but we often mess up with what they were known as, I believe, I forgot the word. They were used for to confuse us with the original answer.
Traps. Okay.
Yeah. So if
Okay.
we follow the script properly, it will definitely help, and definitely listen to some podcast, and that would really help as well.
Okay, Yash, and do's and don'ts. While you give listening, while you attempt a listening section in your main test, would you help us with that? Do's and
Yes.
don'ts. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the don'ts, I'll say, if you miss an answer, just go ahead with the other one. Don't keep wondering around that same question, because if you miss one and you just keep on focusing on that one, it is very much possible that you miss the other next questions as well. And definitely the do's would be to attempt all the questions, because there is no negative marking. So just attempt, just try to recall whatever you might have heard, try to take a guess, that would definitely be helpful. And write down on the answer sheet for your reference, and check for spelling mistakes. That's one of the most common mistakes I made in mock test. The simple spelling mistakes that cost me 1 or 2 marks as well.
Great. So, some takeaways like focus is important. If you miss the answer, just do not keep wondering about it and move ahead. That's it, right? And spellings are
Right.
important, right? That is for listening section.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vyachas. Thank you very much.
Good.
Apurva, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, many congratulations, Apurva.
Thank you.
Band 8 is really impressive. And my question to you is, would you walk us through your test experience, right? Like what time did you report? What time did they take you in? And how was the overall experience? Would you let us know that?
Yes, ma'am. So I'll start with the speaking section. So I remember my reporting time was 4, and I live like 10 minutes away from the exam center, but then I still like made it a point to be there 1 hour before, because that really helps me calm down. So I was there at 3 and no one else was there. So I remember people who had their session at 3:30 coming by 3:25 and like rushing in, and then like losing, they're out of their breaths. And I think it's really a bad idea to be there just 5 or 10 minutes before your exam. So it's good to be there like an hour or half an hour before. So you just get to sit back, relax, and see other people. So it's quite entertaining, and you also get relaxed. So I was there an hour before and I was a little tense, but then I saw one guy going for the test, coming back, then other girl, and then I just made it a point to be relaxed. And when I went in for speaking section, it started really well. The examiner, she was really friendly. So it started really well. So I remember doing well in my first part of the speaking test. And in the second part, I really lacked content. So I knew like I could do well, but I did not just come up with the points on the spot. So I remember getting stuck and looking at her face. She was looking at mine. So I got like little nervous, but then I somehow overcame that. And the third section was also a little tough. So even that I got stuck. So it was all because of the content. So I knew my English was good, but I just couldn't come up with the points. And that was because I was nervous. So if you have time, I would really like to recommend you to practice, like take up topics and record yourself speaking and see that how can you come up with the content. So you just have to come up with like 2-3 ideas and just elaborate on them. So that can help you. And that was my speaking section. So I knew that I did not really do well in speaking. So I made it a point to do well in other 3 sections. So and the first section was writing. So, and I was really scared of writing. And that's why I think I scored the lowest in that. But then even in the mocks, I like used to skip writing sections because I really didn't want to do it because I was not good at it. But during the exam, I just focused on what I knew. So I just like tried to do my best. So, and I just wanted to get done with it. So it was the first section. So I just somehow got done with my writing section. And it wasn't that difficult because the topic was quite familiar, which was also there in our writing, like in our manual. So that was the writing section. And the next was reading. So what helped me in reading section was the mocks. So as told by Aditi ma'am, she told me that you can practice, like you can choose which passage to choose first. So in one mock, I started with the first passage, then second, then third. So in my second mock, I started with the second passage, then I did the third, and then I did the first. And in my last mock, I took the third passage first, and then second, then first. And then I analyzed, like, where did I score the best and how it all worked out. So whatever was best for me, I did it in that test. And I was really shocked when my score came, because I thought I did good, because I finished my like reading section in 40 minutes. So I had 20 minutes of spare time. So I checked all my answers again and again and again. And so I didn't know what to do with the leftover time. So the reading section was really good. And I think that boosted my confidence for the listening section as well. And even in the listening section, as Yash mentioned, it is all about focus. So you cannot just get stuck with the question where you do not find your answer. So you just have to like move on and focus on what you can do, like after the question where you were stuck in. So even in the listening, like we had headphones, so it was easy to hear whatever the speaker was speaking. And yeah, it was all about how you practice the strategies. So I'd like to mention one point here. So on my first day of class, I remember asking Hiren sir, like, why do people like struggle to score good in IELTS? It is all about English, right? So he did tell me that it is not really about English. It is about strategy. So even if you are like bad at English, or even if you are very good at English, it does not guarantee you a good score. So you just have to know the proper strategy for each section. So like Hiren sir teaches that really well, and even the book helps. So just know the strategy, know how it works, and just follow that, and you'll definitely do well. So that was
Okay, that's great. And Apurva, where supervisors or examiners over there were friendly? I think you took the test in Nasik itself, right? So how is
Yes.
the Nasik center? It's good?
It's really good. So my test happened in the hotel SSK Solitaire. So the staff was really friendly. So everyone is there to help us, right? So they make you feel at ease. They help you with whatever you need. So everything was provided to us, and everything was really well managed. So it was a nice experience over. That's why I went there an hour early to see everything. How is it? So it was
Oh.
really nice. It was a nice feeling.
Okay. And what time did you report and what time did they take you in?
Okay, so even for the next three
Writing, yeah.
sections, yeah. So my reporting time was no, it was 7:30. So they had told that the test will start at 9. So I was there at 7:35. So they took us in at like 8. So everyone was seated there, and the exam started at 9:15. So we were told
Okay.
that it will start at 9, but it was started at 9:15 because they were waiting for all the participants to come.
Okay. And there is this digital clock, I think, to
Yes.
help you take the track of your time, right?
Yes, for the writing section it was there, and also for the reading sections they told us like 10 minutes remaining or 15 minutes, but it was there for the writing section.
Okay, that's great. So Apurva, you scored 9 on reading. So, it's really a matter of pride that because reading section is challenging. I mean, it's possible for any student to score 6.5, but 9 on reading is something really commendable. So, if I ask you one important strategy for reading, what it would be for many students, especially with respect to time management?
Right. So yeah, like even for the time management, like Aditi ma'am had told me, like keep time. Like the first passage is easy, the second is okay, and the third is a little difficult, right? So you have to like use the like lowest amount of time for the first passage. So I kept 15 minutes for it, but I got done in 10 minutes. And if
Okay.
you ask me one important strategy, it is to know that the answer is there in the passage. So no
Mhm.
matter how difficult you are finding it, to not like you are not finding the answer, you just have to know that it is there in the passage. So you can just leave that question for a little amount of time, then do all the questions and come back to that question again, and you will definitely get the answer. So that really helped. And also for the questions like true or false, not given, the strategies given by
Mhm.
Hiren sir was really well. So I wouldn't get into the details of the strategy, but you can definitely approach Hiren sir for that, because that really helped.
All right. Thank you so much, Apurva.
Thank you, ma'am.
Coming to Pooja. Pooja, many congratulations to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, I still remember our discussion. You were handling your academic responsibilities alongside IELTS preparation, I
Yeah.
guess, right? So even
Yeah.
though, many students, in fact, it's very difficult to spend 1 week, 2 weeks exclusively on IELTS for many students because they are handling these tests alongside their academic preparation. So, Pooja, we would like to know from you as to how did you handle these both tasks and how did you give justice to your IELTS preparation?
Okay, so it was really difficult to juggle both the things since I was working and I hardly had like 1 month for preparation. You must be remembering I used to always trouble, used to book appointments and would come for speaking tests and about my difficulties regarding the writing section. But even if you practice like one test, like not entirely the complete test, but at least like couple of sections every day, that could also make the difference.
Okay,
And as Apurva also said, it's all about the strategy. I almost gave like 12 mocks.
oh,
So it really, yeah. So it
great.
really helped me. Like the more I practiced, the more I understood the pattern, like what the exam expects from us and what we should be expecting from the exam. And yeah, that's all. I just brushed my grammar basics in the beginning so that that would help me in speaking as well as in writing section. And practice is all that took.
Okay, that's great, Pooja. So main takeaway is like you handle one section at a time during your untimed practice sessions and just give 4 5 days for full length mock test and you should be done, right?
Not necessarily 4 5 days. What I used to do is, in the weekdays, I used to focus on single sections, and on Sunday, I used to give one complete mock test.
Right.
So that's how I prepared. Like from the beginning itself, I used to put timer and then practice. So
That's
that's
great.
helped. Yeah, that helped me.
Okay, that's great, Pooja. And you scored 8 on IELTS, which is really great because listening, reading section students do score 8 or 9, but 8 on IELTS is something which is very interesting. So, Pooja, would you let us know how did you prepare on this section and what helped you to score 8 bands?
So 8 band for okay. So I got 8 in listening and speaking. Listening, I would say that I made the biggest mistake. Okay, so please, all the aspirants, please pay attention. The mistake I made was that I didn't check all the questions. They give you some time to go through the questions. And
Mm.
usually during the mock, you'll notice that the last page has all the questions, like from 31 to 40. But in my test, a few questions was like on the next page, like, and I didn't turn the page and I didn't see the questions. So I couldn't attend 4 questions. Like just imagine if only
Oh,
I would have attended those, my overall band would have been 8.5 right now. So like remember me as an example and make sure that whenever you're solving, obviously we focus on the blanks during the listening test, but make sure that you are simultaneously also checking the number of questions that you're attending, like question number 6 or question number 8. Go with that together, and that's it. And
okay.
yeah, and regarding speaking, it is all about how comfortable you are. I would say think of the examiner as someone with same opinions. To be precise, as as like someone you know from a long time, and you're just sharing your views with that person. Like that person is very keen to know about your opinions, and that's it. And you'll do well on the exam.
That's great, Pooja. Thank you so much. Yes, Pratham, coming to you.
Hi,
Many congratulations, Pratham.
thank you so much.
So your score on speaking is really commendable, like band 8 on speaking. So Pratham, would you share 2 3 tips that help you prepare on speaking section and some do's and don'ts during interview?
Again, like what my colleague Pooja said, that you have to be comfortable with your examiner. You have to just treat them as if, like they're your friend, you're just having a cup of tea with them. So it just removes a little bit of pressure out off of you that you initially build up, that this might be the moment that what if I mess up, what if I mess up, and
Okay.
don't focus on the facts, just focus on how your English is. I remember that during my part 2 of the speaking test, I often messed up the facts. I think my topic was that if I have to recommend a visitor, like what place he has to visit in the country. So I messed up the name of the hills that are present in the Western Ghats. So I corrected myself. So instead of focusing on the facts, focus on what type of language you're using. That's the main point. And you can think. It's not like you can't take time to think. It just matters that if you're thinking for words or if you're thinking for the facts. For example, if I'm thinking of the name of the hills or a name of a hill station, so it doesn't matter as much. The only thing is that matters if you're thinking of new words, so then it might be a negative point. And don't mug up the answers. I've seen some of the students just mug up the answers and they can easily catch it. So, obviously they'll give you 0 marks for that. I think that's it. And just like Hiren sir said, just open your horizons, just listen to music and podcasts, catch up the new words. And when you learn the new words, try to inculcate it in your vocabulary so it will be easier for you to use it in the speaking test or in general. I think that's it.
That's great, Pratham. That's very nice. So basically what is important is to make yourself comfortable before you give interview. You know, your mind must be free of all sorts of thoughts and, all sorts of tensions. So that helps you catch up some points to elaborate on your answer, right, Pratham?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's great. So what the point that he has highlighted, it is not important to be very specific about facts. You can give imaginary answers. So that doesn't matter, but because your language is assessed. So even if you say China is in India, that's fine, right? What is important is, what do you say and how effectively you present it, right?
Yes.
And Pratham, how many mock tests did you give?
Since my exam was paper-based test, I gave 4 mock tests and also gave a couple of mock tests online because I was not sure about my reading and listening skills. So I think in total I gave about 7 mock tests.
Okay.
And also one more thing I have to highlight about speaking tests, that you have to stay in topic. I think you remember it well. I have to take another speaking test because I messed up the final speaking test.
Right.
So yeah, just try to stay on the topic. Don't roam around here and there. You will just consume more of your time.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Pratham.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gaurav, coming to you, if anyone wants to decide between PBT and CBT, how should he go about it?
I think, yeah, this is very important. I forgot to mention it. I gave my IELTS test on computer, and it was surprisingly much more comfortable for me to give it on computer because like most of my stuff happens on on web. So like reading, listening, like all these sessions were easier. Like I'll say at least 2 times easier for me on computer. It was surprising for me on the test day to notice it. So I performed well in that. So if you want to check how to maybe, if you whether you want to give your test on paper or computer, maybe just ask yourself, like, where is your proportion? Like, do you read stuff on computer, on your mobile more, or like on newspaper? Like, yeah, try it out and like give a proper mock test on computer before moving on to like give a mock test on computer, and then maybe after taking a pause, give it on a session on like a paper, and then maybe judge it. Because I maybe failed to do it. I wanted a result quickly, so that's the reason I gave it on computer. But it was very comfortable for me. I'll like recommend simply computer to anyone, like any of my colleagues, like because our generation is pretty comfortable with computer. And yeah, in typing as well, like typing wasn't an issue for me. I used to practice it. Like I used to switch off my auto like spell check and grammar check, and yeah, I used to practice writing a lot on computer. So like it wasn't a big deal for me.
Okay. So if anyone comfortable with computer-based test, I think he should go ahead with it, even if he or she has to travel to Mumbai or Pune, because computer-based available still not available in Nasik, I suppose. So even if you need to travel, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like whenever you want to have a result a little bit quicker, then you can just travel to Pune or Mumbai, give your computer-based test, and yeah, it's a nice experience as well. Like Pune Center is good. One thing I forgot to mention about like speaking, which was like I haven't shared it with anyone. Actually, I gave, I guess, 3 to, I do not know, maybe 3 or 4 in total interviews in our class, but my interview, speaking interview in the actual exam was pretty horrible. But I
Okay.
still ended up scoring 8 band. I was like questioning what went wrong. So like what went right rather,
Okay.
because my second and the third sections of speaking, I took like 10 seconds gap in, yeah.
Okay.
But then I read about it, then it was like kind of clear to me that if you take pause to recall, no matter how long it is, but after you are speaking, like when you start speaking, you are fluent and covering each and every point mentioned, it doesn't matter in the end.
Right.
So yeah, it was horrible. Like I thought that I'm done. Like I won't even score 6. So
Okay.
this is something that you need to know about speaking and writing. You need to know like what all things are okay, what all things are okay to mess up, and what are things which are like you have to focus on, so that you do not end up spending much more energy on something which is very trivial. So like
Right.
we feel that if we are like taking pauses and we are not fluent, then we might end up hampering our score, but that is like just in elocution competitions. It doesn't happen in IELTS. Like this is an example.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Gaurav, as we are discussing about speaking section of the test, I would also like to know how do you use that 1 minute? Because,
Mhm.
especially in part 2, it is very
Yeah,
important that
I
you
messed
use
up
that
there.
1 minute very wisely. So
Yeah,
you
I
messed up
messed up
there.
there.
So,
Yeah, I messed up
okay.
horribly there. So my thing was, my topic was a competition which I wanted to take part in, which I haven't like heard of, like something new, a new competition. So I didn't know what to write about. I actually started to write about Red Bull races. They have this like funny sort of like races about automobiles in Europe. So, but I didn't know what's the exact name of it. So I started writing about it. I canceled it, and then I just wrote Berlin Marathon. Okay, Berlin Marathon, and the time was up. I just wrote that, wrote the title of what I
That is
wanted to.
your real-time experience. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that is what
Okay.
I wanted to write about. But what I got to learn about it is like after I started speaking, I was like making myself comfortable reading the question in front of the examiner. Like that wasn't a problem. I thought it went horrible, but that wasn't a problem. Like you have this like title in front of you and you can read the questions. I did it. I covered each and every point. I made sure like Aditi ma'am told me that you should cover each and every point and then move on, like if the remaining time to cover the things maybe you wanted to cover or something. So I made sure that I covered each and every point and then elaborated on it. So I took
Okay.
my time, and yeah, so but
All
you are
right.
supposed to take that 1 minute to make notes, but
Yeah, yeah.
in like worst case scenario, it will still be fine. You can still score an 8. That's like,
Right.
yeah.
So that's the reason we are conducting such interactive session because they learn from your mistakes as well, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they should be
Yeah,
comfortable, at the end you make mistakes, but you should be comfortable with it. That's it.
yeah. You should
Right?
just be composed. Like, yeah, like it
Exactly.
doesn't matter if you, even if like, you're not able to make important notes, just make sure you cover each and
Right.
every point. You are fluent enough, and then you can, even take time while speaking. Like it doesn't matter.
Exactly. See, students get nervous when they get stuck up, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not very important because even when we speak in our native language, we get stuck up, but we never get nervous. So there should not
No,
be
no.
this problem with English, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and the
Yeah, go
thing,
ahead.
last thing which
Mhm.
helped me in speaking is the thing which was mentioned by Pratham and Apurva and Pooja as well. But I like kind of exaggerated that narrative that the examiner is my fan. Like he just wants to listen to me, so that every anxiety, even if like my wrong opinions are not being judged, like I am the messiah sort of thing. So that helped me. Like that
Yes.
kind of mindset helped me. Like the examiner is just there for me. So
Yes. Yeah, you need not develop any sort of phobia with the examiner, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's
not
just
at
that
all.
like
Like,
we are speaking here, they just in fact check your ability to survive in English speaking country, and that's it. I guess that there is no other purpose
yeah,
of the interview, right?
yeah.
Great. So Yash, this is a question from me, like, or from rather all of participants. They are really clueless about what to do 2 days before the test. What exactly did you do 2 days before the test?
I would suggest to relax definitely. Uh, don't take any mock test 2 to 3 days before the test. That was something I first thought that I'll prepare before the test day as well, but it will
Mm-hmm.
just develop more nervousness in you, and it can mess up a little bit things. So I'll just say relax. If you want to do preparation, do it now. You
Mhm.
have plenty of time before the exam. Spend 2 months on the test, mock test. Give as many mock tests as possible, interviews. But I'll definitely say don't do anything just prior to the test because it can mess up your strategies as well. That's what I observed. But if you want to just go through some things, you can go through that, but don't go into detail. Definitely not.
That's great. Thank you so much, Yash. And Pratap, what did you do 4 to 5 hours before the test, written test?
I just slept. I didn't want to overexert myself. I just slept a good night's sleep, woke up and gave the test.
Okay, that's great. Nice to know this, Pratham. Okay, so we are coming towards conclusion, but few important questions. Apurva, coming to you. Um, in general, one tip that you would give for IELTS exam and preparation.
Yeah, so I would say that prepare with your best. Like, see, it's all about English, and in the end, it will also help you in your life. So you're not just preparing for exam; you are also helping your personality improve, right? So I like personally love English. So I enjoyed every bit of learning experience. So you just enjoy the process, and the result will definitely be good.
That's a very good point, Apurva, you made. Thank you so much. And Pooja, coming to you, in general, you really score good on listening, reading both sections. So in general, what would you recommend one important strategy for listening and reading?
Listening and reading, it could be your strengths or it could be your weakness. Like it depends like completely on the person. But if those are your weaknesses, I would say you can overcome that with practice. And one thing I would like one tip I would like to give is that 1 minute before entering that like exam arena, make sure that whatever you have studied, you have done your best. It doesn't matter you have given 1 mark or 20 marks. You have done your best. It's just English language, as Apurva said, and you can do it. That's it. Just like concentrate well. You can easily get distracted there. Your thoughts keep wandering in your mind. Distraction, don't get distracted during listening. And for reading, just understand the pattern. If the passage you're reading, like I used to do this one thing, if I'm able to finish the first paragraph in 20 seconds, I just understand that this passage is going to be easy. I'm going to give hardly 15 minutes. And if you think that the first paragraph is taking like more time, like around 1 minute or something, give it that time. Don't be in a hurry that I have to finish it in 15 minutes or something. Give it time, properly understand the gist of it, and you'll score well. That's it.
Thank you so much, Pooja. And lastly, coming to you, Gaurav, one important tip for speaking and writing. What would you say?
I think just stick with the basics. I think, yeah, the most important thing in speaking is my tempo. This is the adjustment I made before speaking. Like I have this habit of speaking very quickly in all the languages I speak, Hindi, Marathi, or like a German. So yeah, decreasing the tempo helped me recollect what I wanted to say the next bit. About writing. Just stick with the basics. Grammar is important. Those words, coherency, like connecting words, we say, right? Connecting words, be aware of those words. Just have the words which you are most comfortable with, and develop an idea in writing. Like develop just an idea. Don't run behind, like, how I can list more and more ideas. Just develop few ideas. Even if you like, some topics are really very difficult in writing, and you cannot just like come up with more than 2 or 3 prose, but maybe those pros are something you can speak about more. So, or sorry, write about more. So do that. Yeah. So
That's great. So method is very important speaking and writing section, right?
yes.
When stick to method, that is very important. You should not be clueless about it. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I think I have covered as many questions as possible that students have in their mind regarding this test. And now I keep the session open for students to ask any questions or any doubts, or in case they want to know anything specific. It's open for you guys. Now, stage is yours. Please go ahead. Hiren sir, you can ask students to unmute and ask the questions in case they have any questions in their mind.
All right. First of all, wow, Apurva, Gaurav, Pooja, Pratham, Yash, those are some really insightful tips. Hopefully, all the other participants were filling their notes. All right. So, for all the audience present online, feel free to press the raise hand button and then later you can use your mic, ask your question to any person in the panel. For all the in-person audience sitting in front of me, if there is anyone here who also has a question, you'll be getting a chance to speak. I'll turn the camera towards you and you'll be getting to ask a question. So yeah, students, feel free to ask any question. This would be a good chance for you to interact with them. For all the online audience, if in case you are a little shy to ask, but if you're not having a good internet connection, just type your question in the chat and I'll read it out for you.
It seems we have covered all the questions for them.
Yeah. So Anupama, I believe you thought you put really good thought in the questions, because of which.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I believe then we should wrap it up. So still, last call, if there is any question that anyone would like to ask, please feel free to raise your hand, let me know.
So how was the session, guys? Did you find it helpful? Kindly let us know. Any volunteer here? Yeah, Apurva, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to say something. So, like, I had really less time to prepare, but then I really want everyone to know, like, you can just ask for help. So you can just approach Hiren sir, Aditi ma'am, or Anupama ma'am in whatever you feel difficulty in. So just ask your teachers. So teachers are like doing their best to, help you learn everything, but they just cannot like cover every point. So you should know what you're weak at, and you should know that you can definitely improve that. So just approach your teachers and ask them, like, I'm weak at this, or I'm finding this difficult. So what can I do to improve that? So that's what I did in my writing, and it was like a good experience. So just take help of your teachers, and you will definitely do well. And practice is the only thing that can help you. So don't shy away from it. So just take your mocks, practice everything that has been taught, and you will definitely do well. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Apurva. Any participant would like to share? Any panelist would like to share anything? Gaurav, Pratham, Yash, Pooja, you want to say anything? In case I have missed.
I would just say, just make sure that you make use of the one-to-one interactions that you can get with Hiren sir, that are really helpful also to attend your writing classes. The two classes that you take, those are really helpful as well. So make sure you make use of the resources that are provided by Akshay Institute. They would always help you to score better.
Thank you so much, Yash.
We also have Aditi ma'am attending the session online. So Aditi ma'am, if you have any concluding remarks to share, please feel free.
Yes, good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations to all the top scorers and all the best for your future procedures. For the rest of the students, some of you have already completed your training and you are now preparing for your exams. So as the guidance is given by all our top scorers, practice your weaker sections. That is what I would say. And we are here to help you out. So do not feel shy, or do not feel, don't underestimate yourself. And you can approach us whenever you want, and we are there to help you. So I hope that all of you will do your best in your exams. And yes, all the best to everyone.
Thank you. So, Hiren sir, before we wrap up, I just want to let the students know that we have customized plans that recently we have come up with, like 15 days plan. These plans are for the students who have already scheduled their tests. Okay, so we have plans for the students who are planning to take their test in 15 days, 1 month, and 2 months. So Aditi ma'am, your student coordinator, is already there to help you out with the plans. So in case you prepare your test date and schedule and haven't contacted us with for those plans, I kindly suggest you to do that. Those plans really working. We have recently started with those plans, and I do feel that after your test registration, you contact Aditi ma'am for those plans and also for the practice speaking interviews. Aditi ma'am and I will be helping you out with your test preparation. Whatever way is possible. All right. So yes, Hiren sir, over to you.
All right. So I believe we must wrap it up for the day. Once again, I thank everyone who, from the top scorers, Apurva, Gaurav, Pooja, Pratham, Yash. You guys have done a commendable job. We are very proud of you, and hopefully you are able to get admissions into your dream universities. To all the participants, especially the ones who are going to take the test in the next few months, wishing you all the best. I also thank Anupam ma'am for those really insightful questions because that really brought out the personal experience that each of the panelists had. So on that note, we shall wrap it up for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope to see you guys in training soon.
Thank you so
everyone.
much and all the very best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
welcome. Welcome.
All the best.